ਇੱਕ ਓੰਕਾਰ ਸਤ ਨਾਮ ਕਰਤਾ ਪੁਰਖ ਨਿਰਭਉ ਨਿਰਵੈਰ ਅਕਾਲ ਮੂਰਤ ਅਜੂਨੀ ਸੈਭੰ ਗੁਰ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦ ਜਪ ਆਦ ਸੱਚ ਜੁਗਾਦ ਸੱਚ ਹੈ ਵੀ ਸੱਚ ਨਾਨਕ ਹੋਸੀ ਵੀ ਸੱਚ Guru Rup, Guru Pyari, Guru Swari, Guru Katha, Sat Sangat Ji, let us all join our attention. Let's focus on the divine Srup of Dhan Satguru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj. And whilst our attention is focused on Satguru Ji Srup, let us join in Guru Fateh so Maharaj gives us the asisa, the blessings that we need to understand whatever Maharaj delivers through Katha this week. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh Ji. So Guru Rup, Guru Pyari Sat Sangat Ji, 2 weeks ago, last week Das couldn't come, so fellow Das Maafi Mangda because I was ill and unable to come to the Katha duty. However, the week prior to that, where we finished off at was the Panj 6, Pai Purana, Pai Gangaha, Pai Pera, Pai Vidya and Pai Jetha. They come back from Lahore, there to Amritsar Sahib, and Dhan Satguru Hargobind Sahib Ji Maharaj ਪੁੱਛ ਰਹੇ ਆ ਵੀ ਸਾਡੇ ਪਿਤਾ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਨੂੰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਗੁਰਪਿਤਾ ਨੂੰ ਕਿੱਥੇ ਛੱਡ ਆਏ ਹੋ ਸਿੱਖੋ ਬੋਲ ਕੇ ਦੱਸੋ. The Gursikhs, they spoke, and Baba Buddha Sahib Jee Maharaj, they spoke and they give the account of what had happened. Now Guru Ki Sangat Ji, before I start off from where we left off, a couple of beintiyan. Today's Diwan for Katha will be until approximately about 7:45, depending on where Maharaj does some Pujta today. We will not be able to complete the Prasang for today because there's apparently been a double booking, and so the Gurmukh Pyari who have come for the Kirtan, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ time ਕਿਹੜਾ ਵੀ Maharaj Sahib Ji ਨੇ ਦੇਣਾ ਹੈ. So before we start, Guru Ki Sangat Ji, there's one thing we must understand when it comes to Katha. That Baba Ji who just done Katha before us in Punjabi, they touched upon something called Gyan Di Avastha. In the Gyan Di Avastha, the Satapurka they talk about starts off from the Jagyasu, from the being coming into Guru Ki Sangat and sitting here for whatever reason, whether it's a dukh in their life, whether it's a sukh in their life, whether it's andro chao theo mein seva karo. The first avastha of coming into the Guru Kar जिथे अंदर ये चाह हुंदा that I go into the Sadh Sangat. From that avastha, holi, according to our Kamai Guru Ki Sangat Ji, our avastha unfolds like a flower, pehlo band hunda. As it begins to blossom and open, all the panktiyan in there begin to present themselves. Just as such as our Jeevan through the Sadh Sangat, through Gur Sikhi and Gurmat, it begins to unfold. The Hanera of Agyanta begins to dispel, and in its place we get the Chandan of Gyan, which then becomes the direction for us in our lives. Now, until we do not reach the end avastha that Babaji was talking about, of something called Turiya avastha, the Chautha Pada, until then we are all different. We are different in the sense that Kenyan Chahunda, that I want to listen to Katha about Jang Jod. Why? Because inside them they have the gun, they have the quality of Sur Kirtan. Kenyan Hunda Katha de Vichon Minu Kirtan di koi vidya prapat ho rahe. Why? Because they have Cha for Rag inside them. Kenyan Cha Hunda to listen to Katha and learn about Bairag, about detachment. So jo bhi bhukhya, jis prani di bhukhya, Satguru Maharaj via Katha, सारे की भुख पूरी कर देगा. Now the Katha, the reason why I'm saying this is because if we hear the words Bandhi Chorr, we automatically think of Guru Hargobind Sahib Ji Maharaj at Gwalior da Kila, and at Gwalior da Kila, Guru Sahib Ji Maharaj Bunja Rajanu, 52 kings, Maharaj frees them, and we have that kind of picture in our head. But that's because we sometimes either haven't heard a great deal of Katha, or that's where our limit is at. The Katha of Guruji's Maharaj's Pavitra Jeevan of Dasa Sahiban, each and every single pankti has got so much gyan in it. Why am I saying this? Because Babaji, before they got up before me, the Katha Vachak, he was talking about Turiya Pada. Turiya Pada is the one darwaza, the one gate that we must all pass through in the end. Now when we first come and sit in the Darbar, very few people take ras from the Katha of Gyan, especially towards the 6th and the 7th Unka. Most people take Gyan ras from other things. But these other things, they build up to the avastha. So Maharaj, in the Katha at the beginning of this prasang, Baba Buddha Ji, when they started speaking last week, the Sirmor, the Shah, the Brahm Gyani Mahatma of Dhan Satguru Nanak Dev Ji's house, that Sab to Ucha Gursikh, that Mahan Brahm Gyani, when he speaks about the avastha of Dhan Satguru Arjan Dev Sahib Ji Maharaj, when we listen to it, sometimes it is not necessary that sanu idu to ras prapat hoye, because we have not reached that avastha yet. Kaiyan da Guru ki sangat ki cha hunda bhi raag sunna. Maharaj ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਵੀ ਭੁੱਖ ਪੂਰੀ ਕਰਦੇ. In the 9 different types of bhaktiyan, whether it's kirtan, whether it's matha tekna, whether it's Chorr Sahib karni, whether it's phul chadhaune, whether it's darshan karna, there is also Katha. Sab te uttam har ki Katha. Through Katha we learn about the Nishaniya of Guru Arjan Dev Ji's Brahm Gyan Avastha. They are the giver of Brahm Gyan. When we learn this, when we hear this, as our own individual Avastha begins to open, they become a great guiding factor in our Jeevan. They give us direction. So that's why it's important to hear Katha of Gyan, even though we may not understand it. Now to start off this week's prasang, Tantan Baba Buddha Ji Maharaj from their Pavan Mukh, they are addressing the Sangat, and they spoke about the Sarv Uchamta of Satguru Arjan Dev Sahib Ji. Then they brought the attention to the Bhakt Sahibans, and what they said is that the Bhakt Sahibans, they were unable to live in Pana. And last shared a Sakhi video of Bhakt Kabir Sahib Ji Maharaj, when Panta ne jag the Jondi Patwati, the Bhakt Kabir Ji ne jag krona, and how Bhakt Ji door gate. They got worried, they went and hid in the in the jungle outside the village, and Akal Purkh Vaheguru, to keep their Bhakts large, their honor, took on the Saroop of Bhakt Ji and Jag Aap Karaya. So Baba Buddha Ji has said that Bhakt Sahban bhi jo hoye. Now when we hear this Guru Ki Sangat Ji, nobody should ever hear this and think negative of the Bhakt Sahbans. Bhakt Sahban, their Bani is in Satguru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj's Saroop. When we bow before Satguru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj Shiromani, we bow before them also. However, the reality is that we are not able to live fully in Pana, and Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj is the one who has showed us the way of Pana. Now to start off from where we left off 2 weeks ago, let us now hear what Maharaj has to say. Baba Buddha Ji says in the time of Vipta, in the time of worry for the Bhakts, because they were not able to live in the Pana of Akal Purkh Vaheguru, Akal Purkh kuch te kuch kar naran dikhai. They showed that nobody else could show. Bhakt Namdev Sahib Ji Maharaj, when they went to the mandir, the Brahmins kicked him out the mandir, said, you can't come in the mandir karke tu neech jati hai. We will not allow you in the mandir. Bhakt Namdev Sahib Ji Maharaj went outside the mandir. Parmeshwar di bandgi kar lape. They started crying like a kid as to its mother. Akal Purkh Vaheguru Ji turned that mandir around, and even today, if you go and have a look at that mandir, all the mandirs are facing one way. That one mandir is facing in a different direction. Kuch te kuch kar naran dikhai. Akal Purkh Vaheguru, to save the honor of his Bhagats, because they couldn't live in Pana, showed something that nobody else could show. Baba Buddha Ji says, this is the Unta, this is the lack of Gyan, the Bhakt Sahib. And this is how they have showed it and demonstrated by not living in Pana. So Guru Ki Sangat Ji, now when we hear this, it can cause doubt in our mind. We Bhakt bhi hoye, to Unta bhi hui. Yes. In Gur Sikhi there have been 6 Gur Sikhs whose avastha has been far greater than the Bhakts. Like by Mani Singh Ji, Baba Ji were just mentioning them before Das came to the stage. Like by Sati Das Ji, like by Kanhaiya Ji, many of the Gur Sikhs in the Paudi of Gurmukh Nadan, Gurmukh Vedan, Gurmukh Raya Samai in Sri Japji Sahib, Maharaj tells of the avastha of a Gurmukh. When a Mahatma on the Gaddi of Bhakt Farid Sahib Ji asked Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj, he said, Maharaj, aaj Gurmukh Shabd tusi vartya, what is a Gurmukh? And Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji Maharaj says, if we explain to you what a Gurmukh is, you will not understand. We will show you what a Gurmukh is. Where are you going, by the way? And this Mahatma, who's on the Gaddi of Bhakt Farid Sahib Ji, said, Maharaj, sada chit karta that we want to go on Hajj. Maharaj says, on the way to your Hajj, you will understand what a Gurmukh is once you've seen what we've got to show you. Now, Sadh Sangat Ji, the reason why it's needed to go into depth, we all hear about Nanak Naam Chaddi Kala Tere Bhane Sarbat Da Pala. We all read it. But Bhane de vich Guru Ki Sangat Ji koi Gurmukh hi aunda hai. Otherwise, we even start pointing fingers at the Guru that we bow down before when times are not good for us. As long as times are good, it's Guru, 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 Guru. When times start to become bad or not according to our desires and wishes, then we start lifting fingers on Guru. Why? Because we haven't got the ability and the strength and the conditioning to live in Pana. So this Mahatma on the Gaddi of Bhakt Farid Sahib, he goes to Hajj. On the way to Hajj, when he comes to the port at which he will aboard a ship and then go over to Saudi Arabia, he has to wait the night. The next day the ship will sail. While he's waiting there, Guru Ki Sangat Ji, what he does, he walks up and down the shore. Ude hath which mala hai, Allahu, 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 he's repeating again and again. And as he's walking up the shore, what he sees is a ship out at sea. When he sees this ship out at sea, Guru Ki Sangat Ji, the ship is on fire. And The Sakhi is slightly longer, but I don't want to touch on that, otherwise we'll never start our Prasang properly and we haven't got enough time as it is. He sees this ship on fire, and when he sees the ship on fire, he calls out to Khuda. He said, "Hey Khuda, all those people that are on the ship, they are jumping in the water, and I can see them drowning. Inna nu bachala." And what happens all of a sudden? Bandhi wala fakir si Guru ki Sangat ji. He was a person who did a lot of bhakti of Akal Purukh Waheguru. When he says this, these waves start to form and they start to wash all the people that are in the water onto the shore. And Jado, he looks towards the sky and he says, "Tanwad tera Khudawand Kareem." But in his mind is that I did dua, meaning ardas, meaning benti, and they got saved. Then as he's walking along further along the seashore, later on in the evening, he sees fish. There are some fish that drink nothing but fresh water. They come to the surface, they've got their mouths open, and they're waiting for water because there's dark clouds above. But the dark clouds have passed right over the sea, gone onto the land, just about a mile or so, and he can see the rain pouring down onto the land. And in his mind, sorry, I beg your pardon, the dark clouds start raining on the sea. And in his mind, he's thinking, why is this raining? If he is perfect, we all say Pura Guru, right? He's saying, if he is perfect, then why is this rain happening on the sea and not on the land, which is parched, which is dry? Chalo, the rain stops on the sea and he starts to go inland. When he sees these things again in his mind, ਉਹਦੇ ਮਨ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਉਂਦਾ ਵੀ ਜੇ ਮੈਂ Allah Allah ਕਰਦਾ, my words are coming true, my thoughts, my ਬੇਨਤੀਆਂ coming true. So ਇੰਨੀ ਗੱਲ ਸੋਚ ਕੇ he returns back to port. The ship that he was supposed to climb upon Guru Ki Sangat Ji and then go to Saudi Arabia, he doesn't know which one it is. ਜਦੋਂ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਨੇ ਕੋਈ ਕੌਤਕ ਦਿਖਾਉਣਾ ਹੋਵੇ ਨਾ Guru Ki Sangat Ji, they create anything and everything before our eyes. So ਆਪਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਸਿੱਖਿਆ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਮਿਲਦੀ ਹੈ, and we find this not only throughout Guru Itihas, throughout the Itihas of Dharma itself. So when he goes back to port, there's a man standing at the port. He said, "Kithu nu jana tusi?" He said, "I'm going to Saudi Arab tomorrow." Unhe apna ungul kiti, he said, "That's your ship over there." He makes his way over to the ship, Guru Ki Sangat Ji. When he gets on the ship, he sees all these sadhus, one more radiant than the other. And when a sadhu meets a sadhu, khushi hundi, the sadhu spoke to him really nicely. Ji aaya akhya, salam alaikum akhya. They asked him, they said, "Where are you going?" He said, "I'm going to Saudi Arabia." Any gal Guru Ki Sangat Ji aake, he sits down. And what's happening is, as he's sitting down, these thal full of prasad, they start to come out of the sky and before the sadhus that are on the ship. But for him, no prasada pani comes. Now when no prasada pani comes, we beta socha, I'm a sadhu there getting fed. Why the vitkana with me? Why the difference with me? And as he's thinking this, the sadhus are looking at him as well. They go, "Bhai, tera thal." They go, "Why have you got a thal?" He said, "I don't know." The sadhus antartyan hoye, they close their eyes, they look, then they open their eyes. They say, "Bhai, you should sit separate from us. You as a sadhu is different to us as a sadhu." All of us that are sitting here, Guru Ki Sangat Ji, and doing the bhakti of listening to the Katha of Guru Maharaj's Jivan, this too is sadhana. This too is Ade Apnu Sudharna. That's why it's called sadhu. So these sadhus said, "You sit separate from us." And when he asked why? Why? What have I done wrong? They said, "The reason why you haven't got your thal of food, you have become such a sadhu, you believe that Allah is all complete, is almighty, knows everything. If you know that and then you believe that, then why did you need to do the ardas out there at the sea?" for the kishti? Why did you need to do benti for the fish? Do you think he doesn't know? Because you think he doesn't know, ਤਾਂ ਹੀ ਤੇਰੀ ਪ੍ਰਸ਼ਾਦੇ ਦਾ ਥਾਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਉਤਰਿਆ। ਹੁਣ ਤੂੰ ਵੀ ਬੇਨਤੀ ਕਰ, ਸ਼ਾਇਦ ਤੇਰੀ ਵੀ ਆ ਜਾਊ। When he heard this, Guru Ki Sangat Ji ਇੱਕਦਮ ਸੱਟ ਵੱਜੀ। He leaves the ship, he returns to where ਧੰਨ ਸਤਿਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਦੇਵ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਕੋਲ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਮੱਥਾ ਟੇਕਿਆ। He said, Maharaj, ਮੇਰਾ ਕੀ ਵਾਪਰਿਆ? Look, if something happens like this with someone who lives a wrong life, we'd expect it ਕਰਕੇ ਚੰਗੇ ਮਾੜੇ ਦਾ ਲੇਖਾ ਦੇਣਾ। This Mahatma on the Gati of Farid Sahib Ji, he's such a ਪਵਿੱਤਰ ਆਤਮਾ, such a ਬੱਚਾ Guru Sahib Ji, that when ਉਹਨੂੰ ਥੋੜੀ ਜਿਹੀ ਝਿੜਕ ਪਵੇ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਦੁੱਖ ਲੱਗਣਾ। ਇਸ ਲਈ ਮੇਰੇ ਨਾਲ ਇਦਾਂ ਕਿਉਂ ਹੋਈ? When he goes to ਧੰਨ ਸਤਿਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਦੇਵ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਉੱਥੇ ਦੱਸਦੇ, ਮਹਾਰਾਜ says, this is the Padvi of Gurmukh. That a Gurmukh at all times keeps his mind tuned into the Pana of Kalpurk, that whatever happens is happening according to his will. Whatever happens is happening perfectly just as it should happen. Now this raises a question, right? The question this raises is that if all this is meant to happen, then why do we need to defend ourselves in battle? No. As a Bhagat, your hukam, remember, what is the will of a powerful provider? It's hukam, right? The hukam is to defend yourself. The hukam is to keep a shastra and use it on the weak is part. Sirila part. But a greater part than that is to keep a shastra and not use it in your own defense. This is a go-ahead, a green light given to us from a Kalpurk Vaheguru, not just to Sikhs, to every single human being. So Maharaj, Baba Buddha Sahib Ji, when they're talking about Pana in Gur Sikhi Guru Ki Sangat Ji, if we do not hear of these things, how can we do abhyas? How can we begin to prepare ourselves? How can we apne man nu kitna pakavange? At the moment, we're like a kachi roti. Nobody eats kachi roti if they do ted dukhna payega. But the same roti, ਜਦੋਂ ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰ ਤਵੇ ਤੇ ਪਾ ਕੇ ਅਗਨ ਤਪ ਪਾਓ, under the ਅੱਗ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਪਕਾ ਲਈਦਾ, then when we eat or whoever we feed with it, ਉਹਦਾ ਉਦਾਰ ਹੁੰਦਾ, ਉਹਦਾ ਫਾਇਦਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ, that becomes their nutrition. Just like that, when we hear something and then we use the agan tapatav of practice of abhyas, of trying to bring that into our life again and again and again and again, then one day we reach that manzil, that destination, that we begin to live in the Pana of Satguru Maharaj. If anybody ever wants to know what Pana is, just remember this. Gur kahya sakar kamavo. Whatever the Guru says, do not question it, do it. Remember at the time of Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji Maharaj, Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji ne ek hukum ditta si to Jani Fakir. When he said Jani ko Jani Malade, he said his name was Jani. He called Allah Jani as well. He said Jani ko Jani Malade. He said make Jani be Jani. Guru Har Gobind Sahib said tell him जे जानी को जानी मलाना है ना, दरिया बहुत भारी वग रहा, the river is overflowing, जाके डूब के मर जा, तेनू जानी मिल जाएगा। Soon as those words entered the ears of Jani Fakir, दरिया में तुर गया। At the same time, Satguru Har Gobind Sahib Ji Maharaj, they sent the Sikhs, they said go after him, that इन्हें शाल मारनी, that निश्चा पूरा ही आ When he dives in, jump in after him, don't get marna deo. Soon as he's about to jump in, Sikha ne fad liya, brought him back to Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji, जिन्हां दा प्रसंग चल रहा है. And at that time he's besud in the sense, मुंह बोली जाता, अखां बंद, जानी को जानी मिला दे, जानी को जानी मिला दे. How long did it take Guru Har Gobind Sahib to जानी को जानी मिला दे? एकदम अखां दे विच अखां पा के Satguru Ji says, hey Jani Fakir, Jani ko milna? He said, Maharaj, Jani ko Jani mila de. एक बार तकिया कृपा कटा अवलोकन कीनो दास का दुख बिता लियो इन अ सेकंड द जोर द कनेक्शन बड़े बड़े ऋषिज मुनीज कई जुग तिनी तन ताया तेरा अंत न पाया महाराज चंडी दी आवाज से some rishis for many jugs तिनी तन ताया with their तन that it तपस्या पर अकाल पुरख मिलिया नहीं ਉਹਨੂੰ ਅਕਾਲ ਪੁਰਖ ਨੂੰ ਇੱਕਦਮ ਇੱਦਾਂ ਮਿਲਾਤਾ how why ਭਾਣੇ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਰਿਹਾ what was the ਭਾਣਾ it was the ਹੁਕਮ ਡੁੱਬ ਕੇ ਮਰ ਜਾ ਗੁਰੂ the ਸਰੀਰ is guru's right the jeev is guru's right if everything guru's then why do we need to question anything why do we need to question our first step onto Gursikhi pratham rahte ye jaan khande ki paul chate why do we question this so unless we hear about how our Guru Maharaj taught us how to live in Pana even the Bhakt Sahibans could not live in Pana they not only taught us to live in Pana in the will of Guru Akal Purkh Waheguru but they also give that Guru Ki Sangati to the Gursikhs otherwise we would not have Gursikhs like Bhai Mani Singh Ji Bhai Mati Das Ji and many other wonderful Gursikhs Hanji
Sat Atma Jag Sab Kacho
Sat Atma Jag Sab Kacho Baba Buddha Ji said that Maharaj Dhan Satguru Arjan Dev Sahib Ji Maharaj what they have taught the Jag to live in Pana is only the Atma is Sachi this Jag is Jhutha now hun Guru Ki Sangati ਇੱਥੇ while I'm speaking many will be thinking I Jag Jhutha ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ when I touch something I can feel it ਮੇਰੇ ਸਾਹਮਣੇ ਬੈਠੇ ਮੈਂ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਕਰਦਾ ਨਹੀਂ that ਸੱਚਾਈ is the ਸੱਚਾਈ of the supna of the khulli akh I'll explain this when you all go to sleep at night you dream in your dream there are people in your dream there are houses there are cars in the dream there are even sometimes hilltops and mountains that you fall off and you experience great fear in your dream if you've been watching horror movies there could be monsters that are scaring you in your dream Guru Ki Sangati sometimes you can have a family you can have a wife you can have children and you can have so much nikka prem in that dream and when you wake up ਉਹ ਝਟਕਾ ਵੱਜਦਾ ਵੀ ਮੇਰਾ ਪਰਿਵਾਰ ਮਰ ਗਿਆ same ਝਟਕਾ where did those people come from in your dream where did they come from where did we get the bricks to make the houses in the dream where did the car come from who designed the car all of this is made possible Guru Ki Sangati by something called our Niji Maya. We too are ants of Akal Purkh Waheguru. There's his Maya, which is Samrat. Then we have our own individual Niji Maya. When we fall asleep through our own Niji Maya, our creative power, we create that world and then we go and live in it. Whilst we are asleep, the eyes are closed, manje te paya. That is your reality. If someone tells a joke in your dream, you'll start laughing. How many of your children start laughing when they're asleep? If someone chases you with a knife, you run in the dream because you're fearing death. Where's the knife and what is going to die? But it's the reality, right? That's the reality via our Niji Maya. The reality through Akal Purkh's Maya is this what we see. Jiddan ye akhan band ho gayan for good, ye sara ud jana. It's not going to be left. So Baba Buddha Ji, the Shromani Brahm Gyani of Guru Nanak Dev Ji's house, the Gyan they're giving to the Sangat is that we hear Sangat Ji, why are you crying over Guru Arjan Dev Ji? Roida thunda Robo Sakat Bapare jo hate heart bikaye. Cry over the individual who got rid of their Jeevan and sold it for just pennies, meaning bhakti nahi kiti. Why are you crying over Guru Arjan Dev Ji? Guru Arjan Dev Ji Samrathan. They came here to do something. They did what they had to do, and now they have returned to their Niji Kal of Sachkhand. But the Swarup that has gone to Sachkhand is Sat Chetan Anand. They are everywhere.
जिसके गुर निश्चय अस साच
Baba Buddha Ji says, hey Sangat Ji, jene aade hirde vich ਇਹ ਗੱਲ ਸੱਚੀ ਮੰਨਦੇ, that only the Atma is true. They then begin to travel towards that
सो नानक पर पुरनो करहे ना
So Nanak par Furna karhe na. Then they don't have the Furna of Nana Puna. Nana Puna is duality. Aapa ithe baithe hai na Guru ki Sangat Ji. I am sitting here. Maharaj de aasre, Maharaj is closing the house to do Katha. You are listening. At least, at the bare minimum, our mind is conditioned to be ek bol raha, ek sun raha. If somebody takes out a phone, he splits into three, mera koi phone de gaya. This Nana Puna is not in the avastha of the Turiya avastha that Baba Ji was sitting before me. He was talking about what Sant Maharaj, Shomni Brahma Gyani Baba Buddha Ji is talking about. They're saying that Guru Arjan Dev Sahib Jee Maharaj, they not only lived the avastha of there is no Furna whatsoever, but they've given that to their Guru Sikhs as well. ਜੇ ਫੁਰਨਾ ਉੱਠਦਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਗੁਰੂ ਕੀ ਸੰਗਤ ਜੀ, you're all sitting here, if anybody walked up to you and even got a pin and pricked you with it, ਕਮ ਸੇ ਕਮ ਮੂੰਹੋਂ ਕੋਈ ਕੌੜੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਨਿਕਲਦੇ ਆ, if not ਲਫੇੜਾ following. Why? Because we are identifying as our body. Guru Arjan Dev Sahib Ji Maharaj, the pankti before this, two panktiyan before this, ਵੀ ਆਤਮਾ ਨੂੰ ਸੱਚ ਮੰਨਣਾ, ਜਗ ਨੂੰ ਝੂਠਾ ਮੰਨਣਾ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਰਕੇ ਦਿਖਾਇਆ। ਹਾਂ, ਤੱਤੀ ਤਵੀ ਤੇ ਬੈਠੇ, ਤੱਤੀ ਤਵੀ ਤੇ ਖੜੇ ਹੋਏ, ਤੱਤੀ ਰੇਤਾ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਨੇ ਆਤੇ ਪਾਵਨ ਸੀਸ ਟਵਾਈ, ਬਟ ਨਾਟ ਵਾਂਸ ਕੌੜਾ ਬੋਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਚੰਦੂ ਨੂੰ ਬੋਲੇ। ਵਾਈ? ਫੁਰਨਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਉੱਠਿਆ ਵੀ ਸਰੀਰ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਕੋਈ ਸੰਬੰਧ ਹੈ ਜਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ। ਸੋ ਬਾਬਾ ਬੁੱਢਾ ਜੀ is saying the same thing. Now when we say that, ਚਲੋ Baba Buddha is talking about the avastha of Guru Arjan Dev Sahib Ji Maharaj. This surely can't be amongst Guru Sikhs. It is amongst Guru Sikhs. Look up Pai Kanhaiya at the time of Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji Maharaj. Jang jari a Turkan da ghera pya Ram Sri Anandpur Sahib. The Singhs are battling to kill off the Turks. And what's Pai Kanhaiya Ji doing? Feeding them water. That runs contrary to battle strategy, doesn't it? When Pai Kanhaiya Ji is brought before Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji Maharaj by the warriors, Maharaj Anjan nahi, Maharaj knows everything. Kat ke antar ki jaan. Maharaj says, hey Pai Kanhaiya, is this true that you're doing this? Pai Kanhaiya Ji says, Hanji Maharaj, this is true, we are doing this. Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji Maharaj says, hey Sadhu, why are you troubling yourself feeding the Turks with water? What Pai Kanhaiya Ji says is, hey Maharaj, who is the Turk and who is feeding? Who is giving water? What is the water? What is the pitcher? Ape kanda tol tolaya, ape tolan hara, ape shah aap banjara, ape vanj karaya. Meaning that everything that is, if we look at this through Baba Buddha Ji's eyes, through Pai Kanhaiya Ji's eyes, who is doing Katha? What is this mic? What is this stage? What are the Surupte? This is all the Nana creation of the Kalpurk Vaheguru. So Baba Buddha Ji is saying, so Nanak par furna kare na. Who does not do this Nana Puna? Who escapes this Nana Puna? Who progresses in the avastha of Gyan? Those who have learned to identify as the Atma being Sach and the Jag being Jhutha.
अपन समान स्वरूप लिखाए लखे आन धराए ना।
अपन स्वरूप लखे आन तरह ना। that they see their Swarup, their being, their Atma in everyone. They don't see any difference at all.
Asami neh sochan jog.
Baba Buddha Ji says the Guru who has given this Gyan, has given this teaching, the one who gives this to their Gursikhs, as Swami, that kind of Swami, sog nahi karna chahida Sangat ji. This is what Baba Buddha Ji is telling the Sangat. Gursikho, this also goes to us. Our lives in Gursikhi, any prapakh apne vich Sikhi honi chahidi, Maharaj to mang ke. Never think that we can create a Gursikhi bharpoor jeevan. Mangna penda again and again and again. When we keep on asking for Gursikhi and aap bhi kuch karna penda, we have to do some kind of naam abhyas. Aap bhi jad apan karde hain na, then Maharaj progresses us along the path. When we keep on asking for this Guru Ki Sangat Ji, then our jeevans become such. Our jeevans become such that when we die, no one should have to cry after us. Kyon? Because jithon apni atma di shuruaat hai, we will turn in there. We're not going back into 84 lakh June. We are not going to Nark. We are not going anywhere around. That kind of a jeevan should be celebrated. That's why at the Shahidi Samah of Sadguru Arjan Dev Sahib Ji Maharaj, ਜਿਹੜੀ ਸ਼ਬੀਰ ਵਰਤਾਉਂਦੇ ਆ, ਗੁਰਸਿੱਖ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਮਾਫ ਕਰਨਾ, ਇਹ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਮੈਂ ਕਹਿ ਰਿਹਾ, ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਹਿ ਰਿਹਾ, ਪਰ ਮੇਰੇ ਵਰਗੇ ਗੁਰਸਿੱਖ ਟੁਡੇ ਕੱਚੇ ਗੁਰਸਿੱਖ ਆ. We say so much but we do very little. The Gursikhs of that time never had the distractions we've got today. We got every distraction. Forget social media. Our desires for kapde, or kapda tanne taki jana. When our end time comes, udhar tak chadri milni apan. We got so many desires, we end up spending our lives chasing everything except one thing. Our meher with Satguru. If we can live our lives chasing our meher with Satguru, when our time comes, Guru Ki Sangat Ji, then nobody should have to cry after us. We should cry after those people that lost this opportunity. What was this opportunity? Pahi parapat manuk dev hariya. Kyon manuk dev mili? Why? Pahi parapat manuk dev hariya. Gobind milan ki eh teri bariya. Don't think I'm being hard by saying this. This Guru ke bache hain, Guru ka hukm hai, Guru ka upadesh, Guru's direction. So Baba Ji saying, As Sami neh sochan jog. Hey Sangat Ji, why are you crying over this kind of a Swami, this kind of a master who has not only taught Gursikhs how to swim across this ocean, how to live Gursikhi Jeevan, par aate Gursikham ye Jeevan ditta gayi.
Kripa tinko udara baho log.
So, such a Swami whose Kripa has caused countless jeeves to swim across the ocean. Satsang, we all sitting here, we all listening to this. What we need to be doing in this minute now is weighing up in our hearts. Are we living the Sikhi that we have defined in our hearts? Or are we living the Sikhi instructed by Guru Sahib Jee's book? What is the rishta between a Sikh and a Guru? The rishta between a Sikh and a Guru is the Guru says and the Sikh does. We hear this all day out, but how much of us live by that hukum? Only by living by the hukum Guru Ki Sangat Ji can we fall into the category kripa tinu udare bahut log. That we Guru di kripa hogi. I sometimes speak to some Gurmukhs and say, we kitna pyare theek hai. Dekho chaddi kala ta pa aisa bol bula rahe ha. We use it wherever we want to use it and anywhere. If you want to look at the nishani of chaddi kala, look at the jeevan of Bhai Kanhaiya Ji, who I just mentioned 5 minutes earlier. Aisi avastha to prapat hoya that they do not see anything other than Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji anywhere and everywhere. In the Turks they see Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji. In the water they're feeding they see Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji. In the battle when the talwara are clashing they see Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji in both talwara. That's the Turiya path, that's the Gyan di Rasta that Baba Buddha Ji is talking about. Guru ki Sangat Ji ਇੱਥੇ 8ਵੇਂ ਸ਼ਾਂਤ ਤੇ ਹੁਣ ਵਿਸਰਾਮ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਆ. We will pick up from here next week. I don't believe there's any other program that we'll book for next week. So next week, Maharaj Kirpa Karan, we'll get to spend the whole hour going through Maharaj's Prasanga Bandhi Chorr. Like you have come, Prem Dinat, so far through Guru Arjan Dev Ji Shahidi Prasang, also the beginning of Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji's Bandhi Chorr Sang. Come, bring your children. The first day your children come, ekdam nahi rang lagna. Holy, 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 holy. Even kapda, when you put it in a vat full of dahi, ekdam nahi rang lagna. Hun var paint jao, leave it in the overnight, fake te rang chadda. But the kapde ਨੂੰ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਰੰਗ ਚੜਦਾ ਨਾ ਉਹ ਲੱਥ ਜਾਂਦਾ. ਇੱਥੇ ਬੈਠਿਆਂ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਰੰਗ ਚੜਦਾ ਨਾ ਗੁਰੂ ਦੀ ਕਥਾ ਸ਼ਰਵਣ ਭਗਤੀ ਰਾਹੀਂ ਉਹ ਮੁੜ ਕੇ ਲੱਥਦਾ ਨਹੀਂ. ਕਿਉਂ ਨਾ ਕੋਈ ਟੋਟੇ ਕਰਦੇ ਬਟ ਰੱਬ ਚੜੇ ਸੀ. It's our duty as parents to bring our children into the fold of Sangat and we should not fail on that. ਐਨੇ ਵਿਚਾਰਾਂ ਆਪ ਜੀ ਨਾਲ ਸਾਂਝੇ ਕਰਦੇ ਹੋਏ ਗੁਰੂ ਕੀ ਸੰਗਤ ਜੀ ਦਾ ਸੋ ਜੋਇਨਿੰਗ ਗੁਰ ਫਤਿਹ and say thank you to Dhan Satguru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj. Before that ਭੁੱਲਾਂ ਚੁੱਕਾਂ ਦੀ ਖਿਮਾ ਬਖਸ਼ਣੀ. ਆਓ ਸਭ ਪ੍ਰੇਮ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਗੁਰੂ ਗ੍ਰੰਥ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਫਤਿਹ ਬੁਲਾਉਣੀ. ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ. ਗੁਰੂ ਪਿਆਰੀ ਸਾਧ ਸੰਗਤ ਜੀ ਆਪ ਜੀ ਬੜੇ ਭਾਗੀ ਹੋ.